Can you guys hear me now? How fucking appropriate. Happy 100. Yeah, you guys can hear me. How appropriate. Happy 100, everybody. We are live. Good to see you. Glad to have you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Also, I have no idea why Jade and y'all are giving me a bunch of squids, but and then fish. But thank you. I'm sure there's some joke I'm missing here. You'll never know. Fish back down to me. What are you guys even on about? But I see you guys were talking a whole bunch beforehand, so let me catch up on you guys. Ray, good to see you, glad to have you. Reminder, no spoilers, not that there's much left to spoil, but basically just the bits we haven't got to yet. Episode 100, woo! Kiko, as you can see, I have, oh, actually, you know what, wait, let me get it. It's fine, we're all fine. No one's dying. Ugh. That can be fixed later. Okay, Kiko, good to glad to have you. Artemis, good to glad to have you. Infinite, good to glad to have you. Hi, it was a long dream, episode 100, but we're finally here. Indeed, we are, Infinite. Great Bear, good to glad to have you. Yeah, fun time start. Greetings, Raven, good to glad to have you. Every journey starts with a single step, so let's start the next journey to episode 500. Woo! Oh my god, I mean, like, but we've been doing that the entire game. What will we even do for 500 episodes? Woo 100. Des, thank you for Archon. Enjoy your Archon emotes. V, thank you for Archon. Enjoy your Archon emotes. Wow, almost a year. It's been over a year. We actually hit a year around like in the early 90s. Ray, good to glad to have you. Greetings to you. Tracy, good to glad to have you. Misako, good to glad to have you. Rydia, good to glad to have you. Tracy, thank you for your 11 months of Archonship. Oh, well, I see. It's almost a year for your Archonship. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's wild. That's crazy. Has it really been that long? We've known each other for so long, guys. Feels like yesterday, eh? Yeah. Feels like a century ago to me. Yeah, but you have to deal with me on a daily basis, Ray. You get a much more concentrated dose. Oblivion, good to glad to have ya. Ray goes older by the year every time Elio streams. Ray is feeling old. Lady, good to glad to have ya. Can't hear anything. Fix the audio. Yep, your audio caught up to the audio stuff. Good. Perfect start. Yeah, it was a perfect start. Very quiet game audio. Okay. No, I just wanted them to be out of my inventory, not gonna lie. Thanks, Jade, I think. Elio scream. No one's dying yet. Happy 100. Yeah! And to you too? Oh, speaking of, my partner ran out, and one of my partners ran out and got up a bunch of this stuff, so I have to, so thank you to her. But also, she went and I think made, I assume not made, didn't make the candles, but I think made the cupcake. Happy 100! Otanjobi omedeto, Otanjobi omedeto, Otanjobi omedeto, Otanjobi omedeto. What do I wish for? I mean, honestly, I know it's gonna be cliche, but the simplest answer is just 100 more with you guys. I know it's the basic bitch answer. I know it's the like, oh, of course the fucking guy is saying that, but it's true. That's really true. Oh, I'm gonna set off a smoke alarm. Fuck. Oh, frick. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't thinking through that one. Neo, good to see, glad to have you. Lynn, good to see, glad to have you. It's her Elmo fire meme. Let's hope you got some airflow. Yeah, just a little bit. I opened a door for a bit. This is one of the most moments of doing before thinking. Those often happen here. But hey, the sincerity of the emotion was the point, right? Thank you also for all the fun showings of the comment stuff. You said the music, the game audio was quiet? That's interesting, because it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be any different than normal. Let me know if the game audio keeps being quiet. In the meantime, I'm gonna boost it up a bit here. So yeah, we're gonna take a second to just for me to eat this, enjoy episode 100. Also, I'd like to remind you, because Ray's better at being on top of everything than I am, that we are almost at 20k subscribers, and when we hit 20k, we're going to be doing a big Ask Me Anything. And so when we do that, I will probably, if we hit it on time, that might be next Tuesday, but we'll see. V, thank you for the 10 memberships for everyone. Oh God, everyone enjoy your emotes. Deathberry, good to see, glad to have ya. Also, Lynn and Lynn. Okay, so yeah, Lynn Nix will have to be Nix, yeah. Okay, guys. Let's think. So, setups, we can go do Mare missions for the warm-up. Oh, there was something else. What was it? Oh, there was something else. Well, in the short term, look at all you guys. All you lovely peoples. There's Oblivion over here with their fucking... Let's go do a couple of quests on the moon for some hopeful joy with the loveliness that is the Loporrits before we end up having to deal with a little bit more of a let's just say we're gonna have a bit of a more dour episode despite some of the fun festive air going on. That Loporrit glam is a masterpiece. It really is impressive. Loporrits the beloved. To the moon. To the moon indeed. Yeah, again, let me know if I need to tweak the audio. So I just recorded some audio for a video, and so I had to switch between, which is why the audio issue is happening. I'm trying to set it up so that there's a, I'm gonna have a new recording booth in the closet over to my left. Oh, okay, before I fix this, if you're wondering right now why the camera's off-centered, why there's you can see a bunch of that side and not that side, it's because I hit the thing that this is standing on with my head so hard that it knocked the camera out of place. There we go. Yeah.
I hear you have a penchant for excitement and adventure, is that correct?
That is accurate.
Then I assume in your travels you have doubtless heard tales of the Allegans.
Yes, and almost everything wrong in the world seems to be their fault.
I thought as much. I asked because I have plans to survey an Allegan relic not far from here. The weapons guarding it, however, make it too dangerous for me to go alone. I trust you see where this is going, so are you interested in a little adventure?
I can say that I am.
Much obliged. Now, let's be off. No time to waste.
Let's accept I'm gonna accept the name that way one too. Actually, is the carrots for dinner true care crimes? No, neither of them are it. Huh. I wonder where Singing Waves quest is. Oh, wait, I think this is the one I'm thinking of.
Hey, old person. Yes, you. Do you have a moment?
Sure.
You see, ever since we awoke for inspection, a friend of mine has been acting a little funny. Funny than usual, even. I can hear him sighing from all the way over here. I would go and call on him, as I do, but he always insists that nothing's wrong. I think he'd be unable to help himself from opening up to you, though. He has always been ever so fond of people. Would you mind lending him an ear or two?
You can count on me.
Many thanks to you, my friend. Name's Dreaming Way, and he should be somewhere nearby. Just follow the lamentatious snuffling.
What a term. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, is the camera okay? Oh yeah, everything's fine. I just was cleaning, vacuuming, and I bonked my head. Yeah, I'm more worried about the camera. His head will always be fine. Says the person who hits their head on the inside of the fridge. Barry, is your head okay? I once hit a broken lamp with my head and it started working. You can call me the warrior of light. Beautiful. Well, let's make sure. Oh, yep. Okay, cool. The chat's updating today. Yeah, physically okay.
Stay focused, dreaming way. Sure, you're no working way, but... Huh? Oh my! You're not a Loporrit.
That is correct.
Am I dreaming? Is the day finally here? Am I truly walking with a visitor from Atheris? Whatever can I help you with, kind sir?
One of your friends asked me to come check on you.
Who put you up to such a thing? In any case, I couldn't bother an honored guest with my silly troubles.
We all have our own struggles. How can I help?
If you insist, well, perhaps I should share a nibble of what's on my mind. But first, may I ask your name?
It's Elio Forgeron.
Elio Forgeron, a truly spectacular name. I'm sure it speaks to your character, in one way or another. If only I could say the same for mine. Perhaps it was a mistake to choose dream from the tome of words. For try as I might, I have no such thing. And seeing everyone else live up to their names since our awakening has only made me more aware of it. The people of Atheris on the other paw seem to dream a great deal. Have you any advice for me?
Focus on what you love to do. That should be the aim of your dream.
But that's the problem! I haven't the foggiest idea what that would be. Though my fellow Loporrits might, I've known them since we were created. So perhaps they see something in me that I can't. With their help, you must be able to find an objectively appropriate dream for me to pursue. You know best what would be of service to mankind, after all.
Sure.
I'm all ears, so you can only tell me once you've come up with something. Anything at all.
New emote of Elio head on fire. Dude, I would love to get new emotes. I need to get a new artist first. I haven't even the foggiest where to look to find someone who can match our prior style and also that I can afford. I do want to make there are a bunch of new emotes I want to get though. How are we doing on time? Oh yeah, we got plenty of time. Is everyone upstairs? No, there it is.
You know about Dreaming Way. I can't say I know him terribly well. He's always rushing off on a new task just as soon as he finishes the old one. I always thought him a good sort, though.
How y'all doing today?
Dreaming Way, he can do something, anything he sets his mind to. He doesn't complain about getting his paws dirty either. That said, I'm not sure I can think of anything he's particularly gifted at.
Dude, I want this cupcake. I want this fucking cupcake. Feed it to me, feed it to me. Cupcake's the most wonderful bread in the world, hooray. Ow. Oh, there it is.
He's no sluggard, I can tell you that. Always happy to lend a paw when there's work to be done. Compared to some others, well, let's just say that he's a great help.
Ray, are you just saying you want me as a birthday cake? Oh, that's no good, Raven.
Did they have aught of interest to share? Please say they did.
Well, they have many nice things to say, that's for sure.
It's more or less what I expected, I suppose. Nice enough, but in no way gifted. Perhaps I was never meant to dream.
Don't worry, we'll find your dream yet.
You really think so? Goodness, people truly are so kind as they say. In that case, I promise not to give up until we found my dream. Even if it's the last thing I do. That got grim. Let's exhaust our other options before we go for anything potentially lethal, shall we?
Dude, whoever wrote the Loporrits, man, has such a good sense of humor. I'm exhausted today, not enough sleep, but looking forward to get home. Maybe I'll sew, maybe draw, maybe play 14. Nice, Deathberry. I'm sorry you're exhausted. As someone who's been dealing with a lot of exhaustion, but actually woke up today not feeling too exhausted, I'm on the other end of that, but I definitely feel for you. But yeah, that's the nice thing. At least, you know, you've got, you know, even if you're tired, you've got the different things that you're interested to do, right? If you're feeling like sewing, feeling like drawing, feeling like 14, I feel like it's a lot harder, you know, when you don't even have a draw or desire to do something. Ray Ray. Yeah, okay, Ray Ray's saying it. Ray Ray, if you were Majin Buu, you just do the Buu Ray, wouldn't you? Regular vanilla frosting, that's the best part of it. I like vanilla frosting too, but I'm also a vanilla bitch, so. Cake. Well, you got like a corner store or something, Raven? I'm sure someone around you sells a cupcake. Cake does that good. Oh, I forgot. Technically, we didn't pick up the quest that takes us back to the source, so that actually works really well. That we're here. Dude, there's these like little candy things in here that are like the strangest texture. I think they're sprinkles, but they're incredibly large. I'm last trip clinic also. Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sorry you had to go to the clinic, Tracy, but also I'm really glad it's all cleared up. Is there a crack from end to end here? Oh, I see. There's the bridge up there. Call them spronkles. Yeah, been too long since I baked. Well, hey, you should bake. And the sooner we get, man, I definitely set that price too high, didn't I? But the sooner we get finished the cooking stream, we're halfway to the cooking stream thing, and once we get it done, we will do a cooking stream where we will cook from the 14 cookbook as well. Is it a birthday cake cupcake? I mean, it's definitely got that vibe, and I mean, it's not our birthday per se, but it is. We are celebrating 100 episodes, and it's also kind of a pseudo celebration of it being 1 year of streaming. It's so weird to think that I've been doing that for a year. It simultaneously feels not long enough and far too long. So, random stream question, always. How does your Woolite wear the job soulstone? Mine have them on a cord around their neck or an earring. You know, that's interesting. I never really thought about that. That was one of those things where I always consider it just like in your pocket or like something you have on you, but you only need to hold it like and hold it close to you, kind of like a Zem stone. That's what I would see it akin to. But I feel like you definitely could justify it any of the other ways. You know, I'm kind of sad. Because I'm so happy to be playing this and playing with you guys. And maybe it's because of streaming, but it's, you know, just sometimes when something becomes familiar, it's hard to feel it as deeply, right? I remember the first time I arrived on Mari Lamentora, and for many weeks afterwards, feeling like it just, feeling the melancholy, feeling the tragedy, feeling it in the pit of my stomach, feeling sad from it. And now it doesn't just feel like a map, but it's a place I understand. It's a place that's familiar. It's a place that's been a part of my life for 18 months almost now. And so it's like, it's this interesting juxtaposition is like invariably you have this close relationship with something that's beautiful, and but that familiarity also breeds it being, you know, it's a little, not weaker's not right, but like, the gut churn's different. It's the same way the first time you experience anything that's emotional versus, you know, repeated experience of it. Just, you know, it's not just about numbing. It's also just familiarity does that. Oh my fucking god! Oh. Sorry. Ray, thank you very much. $100 for 100, baby! Thank you very much, Ray. So we're doing the cooking stream. We'll have to figure out when, because we've got. I could either combine it with the Ask Me Anything stream, although I don't know that would work great. But we also have Final Fantasy 16 coming up. So it might have to be the first week of July? No, because we could do a different day. We could just do a non-standard day. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Thank you, Ray. Let me catch up. Yeah, I was just about to try the same Infinite. Waiting for Raven to say in your stomach. Yeah. Is your birthday cake cupcake? Maybe not just because of the first time, but just different time in your life. And V, I think there's a certain amount that's different time in your life. About my life, I think in this case, at least Mare, I think it's partly an experience of one, it's familiar. The same way that the Shadowbringers map don't hit the same. So, which I think it ties into being a different time in your life. But I also think, for instance, right now, I'm not experiencing this alone. I'm not alone sitting in the melancholy of Mare Lamentorum, disconnected from all other humanity, but feeling a part of the game, but maybe truly alone. I'm here with you guys, so it's different. Yeah. As much stuff as the word like carries in his pockets, I'd be afraid if I got lost in that pocket. Racist for Elio's reaction. Thank you, Ray. Elio's only grabbing, sleeping in the area while screaming, "Where did donation go?" Yeah, right. Flora, good to see you, glad to have you. Okay, let's hit up the Brusque Loporrits quest, and then we can get the MSQ started. And Ray, you absolutely get to pick at least one of the recipes.
The crash site is just ahead. If you find anything that may prove useful, I'd be grateful if you could retrieve it for me. So, onward then, after you.
So if you don't know, this was an Allegan satellite probe that also had chimeric creations held within. And it had the chimeric juices, storage juices, basically leached into the ground, which is why there's a lot of weird shit out here. But also that's why there's a lot of Allegan forge kin around. Actually, does someone want to give me the coordinates of the lookout for this real quick? Actually, I think, you know what I think? I think it's up at the top of the spire. This apparatus is offline, but appears to be transportable. You place it in your ambiguously sized bag. Keep my jobstone in my shoe. I mean, it's not an entirely unsafe place. Feeling similar way, so glad to have made friends here. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that, you know, sometimes it's harder to feel melancholy, even if it's like a beautiful or cathartic melancholy if you're surrounded by those who, you know, by people who care about you. Not always, but this bit of Allegan technology is certainly fascinating. A shame it's too bulky to carry back. Defense mechanism activated. Okay, I could have sworn that the lookout for this somewhere. What am I hearing? Is that just the game, or is that the crashed satellite? Oh my god. Free me from this mortal coil. Wait, oh my god, the crashed satellite does make a noise. If you get close to it, it makes a hum. Oh, you can I can literally... That's so cool. Is he stuck? I freed myself. Ah, ye of little faith. There's an Aether current on the ridge there. Thank you, Ray Ray. I'm glad that we could be, that, you know, you feel that way though, Tracy. I'm glad you feel connected to people and experiencing that for the game. You know, I was just thinking we need to cite your source emotes. Can you guys actually not forget these? These are some great ideas. A cite your source emote is a great idea. Does anyone know anyone who, does art professionally? Because I could just go like to Fiverr or something, but I'd rather like build a relationship with an artist who I could work with regularly. So is every seasonal PvP mount a variation of an Allegan node? No. I never really got into PvP beyond getting the sky armor mount and the hairstyles. No. That's just occasionally. That's one of the. They've had dragons. There have been multiple different types of PvP mounts. Some of from the achievements are like the nodes. Some for last time was what actually even is the thing this time. Minion. Support event. A thin rectangular piece of someone in a mirror, placing it in your traveler support will magically breathe life. So traveling supporter identification. Is it a node again this time? Because that would make sense why you would think it's always a node. Have you been kidnapped by the crash satellite? Yeah, that is a cool thing that like it makes a humming sound that it's like almost feels like it's still alive. That's really interesting. I do it professionally, but I don't have time these days. Well, why, Ray? It's not like you're busy or anything.
Phew, a moment longer and that drone would have alerted more. Now, did you find anything of interest?
Oh, a few bits and bobs.
No, let me have a look. No, you're right. Must wait until we get back.
Boop that like button! Boop it now! Boop it into the fires! Destroy it! My favorite PvP mounts are still mecha ponies. The Garo mounts, lady? Yeah. Boop it, just make sure you boop it in an uneven number of times. I know a few people who are art commissions. I can DM your portfolio if you want. Yeah, definitely, Oblivion. I'm definitely open to looking into people. I'm just, yeah. I just need people I can rely on in terms of, not just turnaround time, but also not disappearing.
Save it last. Now, show me what you found.
As the program installed the little purpose story, it's not clearly functional. It's difficult to tell what it does. Okay.
This is an Allegan decryption unit. With it, we could read Allegan tomestones about history, science, poetry, if we had any, which we do not. An adventure for another day, I suppose. Nevertheless, I'm deeply excited by the prospect. As I'm sure you can tell, you have my heartfelt gratitude.
Okay, but what if you just let me use it? Come back here! Come back here! Let me use it! Let me... Ah! I want to know all the things that are on my tombstones. The amount of lore knowledge that could be perpetuated to the largest community would be invaluable. Invaluable! Our Dark Knight is high. I'm still writing. Yeah, dude, Rygo's a great mount. Like, but it's been poop. Thanks, that's very. Let's see my job. So are tombstones like e-readers? No. Tombstones are thumb drives. Like, just oh, I don't have my thumb drives here that I can show anymore. But tombstones are literally tombstones. They are literally book stones. They're just a USB stick, effectively, and they contain large amounts of information on whatever thing that they are said to. So, for instance, tombstones of astrology or astronomy contain information about the stars. Yeah. Closer to USB doctor. Oh, Elio's on it. Yeah. But what do you stick them in? You stick them in decryption devices or computer terminals. So, for instance, you have to have access to like the computer terminal that Sid was using during 5.4 to decode the Allegan node that we have. Things like that are used to decode them. That's why people like Rowena gather them, because they're valuable for the information they contain on them. For a long time, they were considered well, not valueless, but like not as valuable because the people didn't have methods to access them. Also, Ray, since you donated a bunch of money too, if you have any lines you want me to do, like for instance, if you want me to do one of, I don't know, like a serious line or a funny line on Gabby speak or something. Dude, I haven't got a chance to do Gabby speak in a while. It's making me sad. Are there any Gabbies that show up anytime soon? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, shall I begin the story? Episode 100. Forewarning, today's gonna be heavy. With the Loporrits and Eorzean capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing the face of their earthly collaborators, there's much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let us return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. All the Gabi speak.
There is little I can do to help stop the final days, but should you need to reverse the star, look no further. Such knowledge I can offer in abundance, so do not hesitate if you find yourself in need. Verily, I need not remind you of the dangers we face, nor the countless lives at stake both in the source and its reflections. Go with courage, my friend, and pray, give the others my regards. I had chanced to spy you crossing the chasm, and I feared something was amiss. But all is well, and more importantly, I have been given the opportunity to behold a wonderful sight. Keep the abyss close, and its light will be your guide. Well, this was rather embarrassing, wasn't it? At least we're on the same page now. People and Atheris. We'll save both, or at least give it a good try.
Oh, these are all so cute. Well, at least the first two. Make sure to tell Growing Way I look forward to our next walk together.
I will. I'm sure he'll be glad to hear it. Nice to meet you. Name's Puddingray. Sorry again for all the troubles. We promise we'll do better. Honest. The others will be so happy to hear Eorzean is going to stay and teach us all about Atheris. We'll have to be careful not to get too distracted by his lessons. There's still maintenance to carry out, after all.
Okay. I think that is the sufficient amount of joy that we will provide today before we venture on into the more heartbreak. You can't breathe. Okay, I hope that's from laughing, Ray. A GMT. Thank you, Oblivion. Much appreciated. Yeah, sorry, Visigo. It's unavoidable. Look, I named the episode aptly, right? I named it Hope and Despair. It is both. I want to see a Gabi in Ancient's robes. Fuck, someone mod that, please. Or draw it. Someone at least draw it. I would definitely, oh my god, that would definitely get put up on the artboard. Gods, I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back, but we'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now, we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thoroughly detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting out in here as well. They only just begun to treat the tempered prisoners when we had left. I share your curiosity, but warning our allies that the final day is of a greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course. The heads of state of every nation must know what we've learned. We know not when or where and what manner the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Agreed, though we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need to be told as much, but it bears repeating. Anyways, first things first, to Camp Broken Glass. Would Ancient Gabi wear a mask over their mask? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. However, I do use Photoshop. Beautiful, Oblivion. I love how we all universally agree that yes, Gabi would wear mask over mask. Because their mask is not, their first mask is not just about hiding themselves, it's about they can't stand our smell, right?
Gabi can't stand the smell of our blenders.
A little bit behind, Kathra. Welcome! Good to see you, glad to have you, Kathra. I don't know why it does that. It's good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. We've done what we can for now, and believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what's become of Garlemald in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the Tempered inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The inclement conditions have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, and so we have petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are, understandably, hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recent subjects to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering, with all the tempered being relocated. Not all. No, we have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment has begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Eulis is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in the company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alphino and Alice's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today.
Not or something. Don't just cut to Elio not doing anything.
In light of recent developments, we have the Alliance leaders come to any decision regarding Garlemald. Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every town has vanished. For a mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as that you experienced in Thavnair. Those who were trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavor, the beast tribes have received instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled that Mother Porxie affords her so many visitors. Yes, we are grateful for her ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to their homelands after the transfer of Tempered has been complete. Lucia and I will remain along with a small force to continue offering aid to those in Garlemald. The Empire may be no more, but there are yet those who can call these lands home.
Rad, good to see, glad to have ya.
I believe that accounts for recent events here. So, what of the moon and the Telophoroi? I have quite a story to tell, and I'm not all that's believable. The final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There's still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Yes, of course. I will send word forthwith. We'll also release your fellow scions from their present duties, that they may return to Sharlayan. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Speaking of your fellow scions, you will be happy to hear that Mistress Kral, though still on the mend, has been moved to the Baldesion Annex and given into Tataru's care. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Let us be on our way then. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with Zodiarch, you said Xenos took his leave, and in all likelihood he has returned here to Garlemald. I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. To be frank, if you found him, that would not likely live to tell the tale. I suppose you're right. To dispatch good soldiers in pursuit of such a beast would be to send them to their deaths. Pray, forget I entertained the notion. While on the subject of Xenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounce the Crown Prince and condemn his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become the source of shame amongst his former subjects, and its continued use serve only to hinder relations with foreign nations. For this reason, he has been declared as Xenos Viator Galvus, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. Fandaniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's naught but his bloodlust to keep him company. Better that than an army to see it stated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray you safe passage back to Charlian. Oh, okay, you were here, Cathra? Yeah. We talked at the top, right? Yeah. You want the frosting. My bad. I just thought that whenever people say they only just get alerted, it makes me assume that they had just got here. Okay, back to Charlian. Sure, back has got to be freezing. Badass feels snow cold. I assure you it still does. I can say her back would be freezing. My cosplay is in my back, cold outside in cold weather. Yeah. What better way to celebrate a milestone than crippling depression? God, cough syrup is so nasty. Mood, Flora. Dude, cough syrup is disgusting. I can only take the pills, because I literally throw up if I try to eat it, if I try to drink normal cough syrup. Yuck. Yeah. You feeling sick, though, Flora? Yeah, but quite a ways away, so no danger other than the haze. Oh, I just noticed how bad the smoke is haze. Okay, I'm glad you're safe, Kiko. Viator means traveler. Do you think Emmett Selk was annoyed by travelers? Does Viator mean traveler? I assume you're right, but I just want to check him. Like, I wonder if it's not so much that I wonder if it means traveler. It's more does it have like a connotation? To travel road? No. Okay. There's no implication that there's necessarily any negative inherent. But yeah, I think it's one. It's the traveler. That removing his title excises him from Garlean structure, and I think it also he's a wanderer, right? He is no longer of them, which is like the worst thing you could be for Garlemald. I think it's also definitely to juxtapose our role and his role for sure. Yeah. Northeastern Ontario. I don't know why I thought Viator had like a connotation beyond just traveler. Northeastern Ontario and parts of Quebec, my mouth tasted like ash at work during my lunch shift. Really? Is that bad? Well, I guess it's summer. Stay safe, guys. It's interesting that only Xenos gets the title Viator, not Sid, not Lucia, not Maxima, not any other defector we know, just Xenos. Yeah, it is interesting, Lynn. Yeah. I think it must be reserved for... It must be reserved for particularly heinous betrayal, right? Almost certainly, yeah. It's a bit of sarcastic about the timing of the notification. Yeah, no worries, Cathra. Light! Good to see, glad to have you. What about travelers with a fondness for grapes? Suppose it's not the difference between kicked out of the church and being excommunicated by the church. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it, Oblivion. I'm recovering from COVID, no symptoms anymore besides persistent cough. Oh, Flora, that's rough. I had it too at one point a while ago, and I still have times that are rough since. Current cough syrup I've been given by Dr. tastes awful. Worst thing I've ever tasted. Ugh. Sorry, Raven. I love that Xenos embraces Viator and his name changes from that point on as he doesn't care what people call him. Right. I mean, it matches him. If it suits him. Yeah. For outstanding traitors, perhaps. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how you could be any more traitorous than he. Also, his role and title is important that it not just gives him a form of respectability or even, like, some authority like Sid Non-Garland. But... his title role means that he was of the royal line and would be in a position to be a ruler and of power. So it's stripping him also of his right to rule, his right to lead their people. Oh, it's so good to see ya. And free from the Chiblains. I take it? Oh yeah, you'll be pleased to know everything's been kept in order since you've been away. I even brought a few useful knickknacks with me from back home. But no sooner had I arrived than I received word of Cryle in poor health, and you on the moon! If you mean to get me a fright, you succeeded. Welcome back, Elio. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it is plain I have caused my own fair share of worry, and for that, I apologize. Hydaelyn called to me that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate. That day? I feel like that implies that it has to have at least been a couple days between us going up to the moon and coming back down. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry her will. What came after feels like a dream barely remembered, my body flowing through the life stream toward Garlemald. When I gained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of aether. So exhausted, in fact, I could only laugh. For it was in that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. Would that I could laugh at a time like this. Though we prevented Zodiark from being unleashed upon the world, I'm curious to know what else took place there on the moon. More than you could possibly know. Let me explain. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let's reconvene in the main hall once they've arrived.
Holy moly, Kiko, that's crazy. Oh, I think I get it. Other defectors are, we escaped Garlemald because we don't want to be there. Viator is, you might be living in Garlemald, but we really don't want you to be there. Yeah, you are not of us. When you think about like the Garlean chain, you think about what it means to be Garlean, to be part of that link. It is like the most, it is the most, from the Garlean ethos, the most like, othering someone in that way is the most cutting you off, cutting you out thing that you could possibly do. You are and never will be a one of us again. You are a traveler on the road. You are not of Garlemald. That would be my read, for sure. Yeah, exiling yourself versus being exiled. Where does Tataru come to? When does Tataru? She comes with us. Well, not with us right away, but she comes with us. Oh, what was it? She showed up. Guys, we just played this. She showed up, I think, sometime after you finished the first two maps, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you finish the first two maps, and then you come here, and then... Maybe it's after... Maybe she heads here after the meeting in the Elucidate contingent meeting, actually. I think that's when she's... fuck. I just played this. How do I forget this already? Yeah, well, it's worse than being a savage in a way, Ray, because from their standpoint, a savage could still earn the lowest rank, right? You could still become Garlean. A savage can still become one of them, in a way. Not truly, but... Yeah, okay, that sounds right, Lynn. I think you're right. That's what I'm remembering in terms of, like, the last time I remember you talked to her in Alamigo, and it's implied that she's going to Charlene after the Elucidate contingent conversation in Alamigo. I think that is the case.
Sorry to have kept you all waiting. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Will Eorzean be joining us? Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Elio can explain why better than I. So first off, Moon's haunted. Or at least it was. The final days, as befell Amarat. And we are to escape via the moon. What of the source and its reflections?
I've no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So how do we stop this?
Unfortunately, we have no answers at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarat, the solution would be to alter the flow of aether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiark and sacrificing half the star's population in doing, but it should go without saying that such a sacrifice must not, cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days, a feat which even the Amaratines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we have no clues in Mare Lamentorum. There's still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amaratines' creation magics, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? If we know that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past, and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with a forum then. Having worked with the Loporrits in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us.
Oh, forgive the interruption, but I've urgent news. The forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside, some sort of announcement.
What is Father up to now? There's only one way to find out.
No, it would prolong, it would basically buy you some time, Ray, but it wouldn't actually solve the problem, and invariably would still, like, that's one of the things that gets conveyed at some point, is that it wouldn't actually save everyone, it would just buy you more time.
Order, I say. I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens, and so we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Loporrits and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The End-Bearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties.
I was noticing it too, Lynn. Although you also have Silvestri doesn't wear it. You can see Silvestri doesn't have it on. Basically, anyone from the Forum you've met before has a speaking part for the most part.
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
So yeah, you can see Silvestri in the background there. Right there.
Master Leveilleur, if you would.
Very well.
God, he has such a good voice. Oh. Portional's voice is, oh.
270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus. For his impressive contributions, and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Leveilleur to oversee this initiative.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale. We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Hydaelyn has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Whatever you want to say about Fortunal, he is good leader.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Again, you know, as we talked about earlier on when we were starting with this, like I would just ask anyone and everyone to pay close attention to Fortunal and every moment he has in Endwalker, because I think every moment is an important piece in understanding him and also why I think his story is so good.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
This is so important. Take whatever time you need. We'll be here.
Thank you. I shan't be long.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
Yeah, Emilian's is still a great leader too. She just does it from the shadow. I 100% agree.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Eorzean is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Hydaelyn, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures, and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
See, even
Bold words call for bold action, and there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested. Wouldn't you agree? And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Shall we then? To the Annex. To prepare for tomorrow.
Well, there's also... Oh man, you guys had talking a lot. You must just kill me with the moon haunted joke. I'm glad you found that funny, Lynn. I'm dreading the in from the cold. Yeah, Flora, we just went through that couple streams ago. And it breaks my heart, but I also... In from the cold is such... The fact that it's such a reaffirmation of not having it happen again, of the twins holding on to not having to let another child die in the cold again like that. I don't know. There's something to be taken from it. You know, something not good maybe, but hopeful. I love how 3 plot relative. Paradise Glow Prison sounds strange for me. I know it's serious moment, but it feels like they're about to turn into Primal. Name the forum. You know, I mean, that's the thing is you're used to seeing paradisical predicaments and more like a active bad thing about to happen rather than looming in that same way. The year department. The guy gets shorter. The year department. I don't think he did gather him. As haunted as the 14th moon is, the worst haunting is still FF4 free enterprise when you put off the moon trip for as long as possible and you discover is mandatory. Hey, Dust. Oh, Lucia moonlighting as a scholar. Yeah. Yeah, good voice. Temptation to scream once the lock is lifted from the pent-up frustration of being locked away must be hard. Yeah. Anyways, I finished creating my Gabi masterpiece. I put in the screenshots. Oh, wait, okay, wait. I gotta look at that real quick. Again, I'm trying to take little moments of joy before we face cold hard realities. Oh my god. Okay, who wants to see the Gabi in a in the robe of a ancient? Finished. Dang, I just pay off. Oh god, I love it. Back house sealed up. Okay, I'm glad everything's good, Kiko. Stay safe. Yeah, we know where Alfie gets it from. Yeah, Test. For those who come after, sounds suspiciously like it's a line from Answers. Yeah. The Leviors are damn good leaders, even Amelia. Yeah, especially because like the thing is, she pulls the strings from the shadows, right? Like she is a good leader. She leads the household, right? She leads. She just doesn't. She's not active in the same way as her husband and her kids. Yeah, if you do side stuff, you really get to see her side thing for sure. She does the Tom Berry attire, yeah. Hey, do you think the 6.5? Yeah, he said the thing, the Louis Swat line. I don't know, Artemis. There's a lot of people it could be. Yeah, AC, good to see you, glad to have you. You're totally right. This is one of those many read between the lines moments. Here, let me pull up your guys' well-deserved Gabi. Thank you, Oblivion, for... Oh, whoops. Let me... There we go. For the Gabi. I assume some with Avner... Yeah. How completely out of left field the last one was could be literally anyone. Yeah. Wait, I think I'm mistaken. Isn't it in from the cold body snatching solo duty? I just have major body issues and had to fully put the game down for a week. Oh yeah, so Flora, that is... I think that's technically a Leia Lacta Est, if I'm not mistaken.
is when that happens, or at least it's the quest after it. No, that might be in from the cold. No, I think you're probably right. Anyways, I was thinking of the wrong one. But no, that one's deeply discomforting in a way that is intentional, and I think is incredibly effective. And it's like, while it makes me feel uncomfortable, I love that it does, even though it makes me feel viscerally upset. I want my media to do that for me, but I know not everybody wants that. But yeah, beautiful Oblivion. I will gladly accept any other copy-based art from if anyone wants to share or create. Okay. Yeah, Lynn, I'm torn because I know a lot of people I don't think want to be pushed by. I know that when I first got to the Tesleen scene in Shadowbringers the first time, I had to set down the game for the night. I was just like, no. And that might be the only time I've ever done that. I think I've only ever done that with other media, like manga or some other things. But so, all that to say, like, yeah. But I also love that the game can have that much power and that much impact, and that means that much, you know? And that it's not for cheap reasons, it's for deeply powerful and meaningful reasons. And for it to serve the story, to convey to you the nightmare that is the hell that the first exists in.
Crowd tells me the forum made a rather momentous announcement, though there's to be a great exodus, is there? I've been reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val, the realization, the running, the mixture of relief and regret after. Why me? I ask myself. Why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, we'll get through this together. And who knows? Maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much.
Man, Ojika over here with like, you know, we said this in End Talkers all the time, and I say this here now, like, Endwalker has like a couple major themes that it has every character, like most characters expressing or responding to in some different way or worded differently, but Ojika's got like right here. Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows, maybe my lack of, yeah.
Oh, but enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits.
As a transfer? Yeah! Totally makes sense, Floor. Totally makes sense. I mean, it should be upsetting, right? Like, if it wasn't, I mean, like, to someone, yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Especially if you have, like, particular experiences or feelings or complicated connections to it. Okay, guys. I was waiting for this. Also, Ray, since your thing is about to expire at the top of my chat that tells me you gave me $100, I just want to say, truly, again, thank you very, very much. And we'll go to get you. So I'll try to get an artist going and get some new emotes. I want your guys' vote. I need you all need to cast your lots on. Actually, can I add enough options for each one? No, I can only pick 4. Who are you gonna pick? Yeah, who are we gonna pick? Not the biggest choice in the game. That was a very thing. No, Estinian, Alfino, Estinian, Graha, Estinian. I'm seeing a lot of Estinian. Estinian, Thancred, Estinian. Okay, the two I'm seeing the most of are Estinian. Okay, other than Estinian, who we voting for? I'm going to put it up to a vote between Estinian and the second highest. So say what your highest is after Estinian. Ishtola, Graha, Alice. I will say the first time I played this, I picked Alfino. Because, you know, he's one of your first companions. Not the first, but like when you meet him in ARR and him coming full circle. Graha, Alice, Graha. Okay, second place seems to be Graha. Make your choices. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm gonna pick Estinian because I've never seen Estinians, but I've seen Grahas. Or at least I don't. If I have watched Estinians, I watched it once and it was a long time ago. I didn't know there was a choice to pick Alfino by mistake. I will say I love Alfinos because Alfinos is just a small moment that like, kind of notes how far you've come from at Realm Reborn to here. Oh, you guys are all in on Estinian. Okay, yep. We've got our answer. I at least don't remember Estinian if I did pick it, did watch it.
You're alone. Good. The twins thought now.
Oh,
to their credit, they decided against intruding on your peace and quiet.
Would you like to come in?
Can all be a bit exhausting at times, can't it? I wasn't sure what to make of you at first. During the Dragon Song War, how quick you were to take up a cause not your own. But I came to see that is simply the way of you and yours. I will not pretend to understand this talk of ancient primals and the final days. But I trust in your judgment and choose to believe in your cause. You and Alphino have my lance, now and always. You'll need it. Rack and ruin looming on the horizon. Calamity bearing down upon us. There's no place I'd rather be than here. Standing shoulder to shoulder with friends on the front line. So do not hesitate to send me against your enemies. I'll make them rue the day they met me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I could do with a little air. If Alphino asks, I was never here.
Oh, having picked Alphino last time, I feel like that's a perfect...
Until the morrow.
Why is he going out? Oh god, I love him so much. And also, you know what? He was the last choice, and also with what this episode ends up being about, I think it's very perfect that we picked him. Good choice, guys. Just two Eorzeans being bros. Should we just row as well? Yeah, y'all referencing some 6.4 stuff. Oh, meanwhile in Alamigo. Oh no. Hey, there's Druntia and the dancer teacher we just saw.
Gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Hey, Shola.
Thank the Ilsebar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum too. But is it true they brought back tempered Garlean soldiers?
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
The Mancunian accent lady? Yeah, I love it too.
Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think
I think
about
it's
it for a
Estinian,
while,
yeah.
They're to be looked after in Allegan for the time being.
This is the setup for the healer role quest.
Meanwhile, in Ishgard. Yep, called it. Hey, Svirgu! I'm real.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance. Well, what have we here?
This is the setup for the Castor role quest.
Hey, are you all right? Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more. The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. Yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
Arenville, you're my favorite, but also, stop calling the future. Bramble, good to see you, glad to have you. This feels safe. She does, yeah, she really does a decent Manchester accent. Like, obviously I don't have the best ear in the world, but it sounds good. I remember this cutscene. Yeah, I didn't know that this was set for the role quest. Yeah, those are all set up for the role quests. Obviously you have Castor in Ishgard, healer in Alamigo, tank in the Shroud, range DPS in Doma, and melee DPS in Limsa. Ervil put on a coat. Imagine he's worse off in Mara City or the New World. How worse off Mara City in the New... Well, we don't know, cause so for instance, the astral ley lines may have been weak there, but they may have been fine. We don't know because there wasn't a lot of time for everything to fully spread, and not every place was hit as bad as others, you know. So, Dez, good to glad to have you. Happy 100, thank you. I feel like every role quest expands the borders of who can get hit with the final days, and every single one makes it worse. Yeah, so also, Raven, answer your question, we're gonna do all the role quests, however, we're gonna do them after we beat the Endwalker, because all the role quests, I actually think work better if, in terms of their story, as a epilogue to the fallout of Endwalker than doing them during the events of Endwalker. Because remember that all these creatures, everything, things becoming blasphemies can happen. Anyone who's turned into a blasphemy prior to the well, we'll get there. But yeah, we're gonna do the role quest afterwards. We don't have to do one for Endwalker. You only need to do if you're gonna dye your outfit, and we're not gonna be dyeing the outfit, so. Buckle up, you adorable bum boy. Yeah. That's what I felt like in the heaps of COVID. Yeah, definitely Flora. People like their dark chocolate bunnies to snack on. Cool, I've only done tank so far and start healer. All of them are worth doing. Your favorites are gonna range, but all of them are super worth doing, and some of them have set up for future stuff. Definitely big recommend to melee DPS in terms of not of story quality, but things that are going to be relevant in the future. Melee DPS and range DPS. However, I recommend doing all of them because the final role quest is really relevant and important. Skies of flame. And so it begins.
Oh, Elio, I was just about to call for you. I was afraid that we'd received another call for assistance. This one comes from Radz-at-Han. The others have assembled in the main hall to discuss the situation. You must join them at once.
Ah, there you are. Our worst fears have come to pass, but moments ago we received grim tidings from our contact in Radz-at-Han. Vile beasts have appeared as if out of nowhere, claiming one victim after the next. What's more, they say the very skies burn above them. Good gods, are the final days already upon us? It would appear so, sadly. That is all the information we have at present. No doubt the people of Radz-at-Han are busy fighting for their lives. Then we must go at once. They need our help. Agreed. Krile, you best remain here with Tataru and gather what knowledge you can. You're in no condition for a long journey, I imagine. Very well. Similar phenomena may have been observed elsewhere, and if so, we must know about it at once. Be safe out there, yes? Let us make first for Yttermod. We must prepare ourselves for what may lie ahead. So, lady, it might be before map 5, it might be after map 5. I think it's actually before map 5. But that you get the role quests, but the blasphemies themselves actually start showing up during the final days is the important thing. But the thing is that the way that the role quests are written, they can be played either during Endwalker or post Endwalker and still make a ton of sense. They may even alter some dialogue, I think, based on if you finish Endwalker or not. Oh, I'm glad for Cryo's support. I'll also call upon Hori Bold and the others to assist us. They'll be our eyes and ears in the field, as they have been many times before. No similar creatures have been sighted here in Sharlayan. That said, the early signs may manifest in other regions ere long. We must be prepared for every eventuality. With the fall of the tower in Thavner, the Hanish were beginning to enjoy a semblance of peace. And now this. We do not wield the creation magics that the ancients did, yet still these abominations appear. What could be the cause? If this calamity has indeed come to Thavner, it's all too likely that Corvos across the straits find itself in similar predicaments. Dude, they keep referencing Corvos. We're getting it. Corvos is a map in 7.0. It's gonna, so much Corvosi references. It's coming. Even now it remains an imperial province, and as such, it may be some time until we can ascertain the situation there. We can only hope that Krile and Tataru will be able to provide us with some insight sooner rather than later. I'm calling it. 7.0, one of the maps is Corvos. If the might of Ritra is not enough to hold these fiends at bay, Radz-at-Han is in dire straits indeed. We must go at once. In ancient times, the phenomenon was first observed in places where the celestial currents had grown weakest. It would seem there's stagnancy of aether in the skies above Radz-at-Han, unbeknownst even to Ritra. Let's go.
And lo, vile beasts did rise.
If you didn't notice, this is the exact lines from when you did Amarant, the dungeon.
Leaving naught in their wake but blood and ash. Sun scorches earth and boils seas. And our sins ascend unto the heavens. 3 dooms to unmake all we were.
The sky burns. The final days are truly upon us.
My friends, I trust you have heard the news.
We have. What can you tell us of the situation, Your Excellency?
Last night, the isle was rocked by tremors, and the earth itself cried out. Aloft, the heavens began to burn. From all about, unholy beasts, the likes of which we had never seen, came forth in fury and rage. No. To say they came forth would be inexact. The people of Radz-at-Han themselves transformed into these baleful fiends. Though the phenomenon was observed throughout our lands, the first creature, the largest and most dreadful of the lot, wrought havoc upon us here in our fair city. Though they bear superficial resemblance to divinities of legend, they are ungodly abominations. The people decry them as blasphemies. The large one's rampage has since taken it to the northern reaches of the island. I mean to dispatch our radiant host in an attempt to quell the threat.
And what of Vritra?
Vritra too makes for the north of his own accord, and yet he knows the blasphemy and its minions were but yesterday his beloved people. I pray his boundless compassion and mercy does not deter him from taking unenviable but necessary action.
Understood. I ask that you allow us to aid you in quelling this threat.
You would risk your lives to help us yet again? I have no words to express my gratitude. Our regiments approach the north from several directions, with a number of units set to depart from the docks of Hydaelyn. They will make landfall in an area of dense jungle, where one can expect to encounter dangers even beyond the fell beasts we hunt. I leave you to your preparation. You will find me at the docks when you are ready to depart.
We're as prepared as we'll ever be. Let's go.
I don't think the blasphemies would know. I think the sky raining fire. Like, this is the star shower. The star shower, the meteor. The reason the star shower awakens the echo in people is because of the memory of the final days. I think if people witnessed this, in theory, it should awaken them to the echo, because this is the same memory. I don't think the blasphemies are really relevant to it. Let me know the final days. There was an ear-splitting roar from the depths of the earth. We were just not here to hear it. Yeah, I mean, the reason that these mimic the final days one-to-one is because this is what happened. This is just like what we're seeing is what happened to Emerald. There's no, like, this isn't a facsimile. This is just the exact same thing. Innocent souls twisted and reformed in unholy abominations. I thought I'd seen the last of such nightmares with the Sin Eaters. We must act quickly, Elio. Every moment we tarry means another soul may be lost to this nightmare. Everyone has assembled, yes? I thank you for lending us your aid in our battle against the blasphemies. Let us review our plan of attack. I would have you board the boat and circle around to the north side of the island. Oh, we're gonna need a party. I don't know V or Ray if either of you are around to figure that out. There you will find a dense jungle we call Vanaspati. It is a sacred wood home to many temples and a number of villages. Vritra and the Radiant Host have gone there and ahead of us. Ask that you join them, and I'll do all in your power to destroy the blasphemy. I forgot it starts with dealing with Vanaspati. Oh god. I screamed out loud when I got to, I think, the first boss or one of the early parts of Vanaspati, when you have that like inside out fleshy monster turns around and you realize what it is. Well. And for those who don't know geographically, Vanispati. So Ilsabard and Radz-at-Han. The area we're in is here. Vanispati is the northern part of the island. Up here. Okay. Ready for the invite whenever you guys are. I pray we are not too late to spare the settlement within Vanispati, the fate that has befallen our city. Once we meet with Vritra and the Radiant Host, they should be able to tell us more about the present situation. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Glad to be here with you. Sorry if I'm not a lot of fun or a very hyper energy for the next little bit of time, guys.
My friends, heed me. These are children of that man. Forgive me. I could do them no harm.
I gotta start upgrading my armor, I think.
If this is the only way, I shall silence the beasts of the air. Pray continue onward.
Okay, it's not the first boss. It's too late! It's too late for us all! What is right? What is left?
What is this vile presence I sense? The horde draweth near, beyond your guard.
The end is come! Ah!
We have to get away from here. What is wrong? Mother! It's hopeless. Hopeless! Ah! No. No! No!
Second. Good job. Blasphemy. Spot upon. Let's get him. Limit break at will. Good job, guys. Thanks, guys. It's all the same to you. I don't know that I should want a photo for that one. We'll make sure to get one later.
As I feared.
What is it?
The beast was there, and now it is no more. Yes?
Indeed. We saw it plain. But you didn't, did you?
I saw nothing. Not the blasphemy that perished here, nor the other men turned beasts. And because of this, I now see all too well. There is no ether. Where the creatures should be, I saw naught but emptiness.
Emptiness? But that would mean...
Recall the words of the Watcher. 'Twas a stagnancy of ether, a cessation of flow, leading to decay and absence, that led the ancients to conclude their star was dying. This is the same phenomenon. The instant these people are seized by the transformation, their ether begins to rot and crumble away like dried mud. Until, from their corporeal forms to their very souls, naught remains.
The reason that that's so much worse than it even seems is in Theris, in Hydaelyn, in this world, even if you die, there's the comfort of knowing you're returning to the ethereal sea, of your soul returning there, of getting new life, of being part of a cycle and being part of something. There's a comfort. This isn't that. This is just the utter obliteration of the Aether itself. There's nothing remains. The last thing that exists of you is all of your worst fears.
But the beast
And then it's
spoke
gone.
with its dying breath. Surely at least a sliver of the man it was endured.
Mayhap so. But even if the process was incomplete, it was little more than a faint residue.
Gods be good. You're saying they cannot be saved.
Not by any means known to me. Or by any means at all, like as not. For there is naught left to save.
They return not even to the ethereal sea.
The beasts rage on, their hunger insatiable. Even deprived of their master, they perpetuate his legacy of hate. Once proud sons and daughters of Thavnir, all of them, and now I spill their blood.
Vitra, my friends, I am heartened to see you safe.
You put your secret at risk.
Those closest to me already know the truth. A truth I must now share with one and all. Vitra, calamity has come to Radz-at-Han. Our fair nation is rent by screams of pain and despair. More than ever, we require a strong leader to shepherd us through the storm. Reveal your true self to our people, Vitra, and guide us to salvation.
What madness is this, I-One? Thou dost forget thyself. Were we to reveal our duplicity, it would do naught but foster confusion and chaos. Nay, I shall remain the Satrap's loyal ally, and do battle with the beasts. Easing hearts and leading the people to safety is thy task, and thine alone. I ask that you remain at Allegan's side, and render unto him what aid you may.
Kevin, good to see, glad having. Yeah, totally. The adoration and respect that R1 has for Vitra is something.
But without you, Radz-at-Han will not survive.
Take me with you. I am as at home fighting in the air as I am on land. Take me with you.
Oh, I love how much Justinian gets him.
I require no assistance. Thy place is at Allegan's side.
Estinian, here.
Link Pearl.
The last thing you ever wanted. A link pearl. We'd gain much from knowing your elevated perspective. And it'll keep you from getting lonely, which I know you love.
You heard the man. Seems I'm coming with you after all.
But the thing is that it's even better than that, right? It's not only...
Be it on thy head if thou dost chance to fall.
Justinian's the only one here who could understand him.
Shall we?
Who, through his experiences and through his struggles and tribulations, is the one person who could reach him right now. Ugh. Yeah, definitely, Kevin. We do have an icon for them, though.
I fear it is as
Jolly! Good to glad to have you.
We will not survive this on our own, while I am loath to impose upon you again.
Sagittarius, good to glad to have you.
Insist if you did
Neo,
not.
good to glad to have you.
It is the very reason we have come.
Then once
Yukio, good to see you.
more,
Glad to
I
have you.
find myself without words to thank you properly.
Let us return to the capital and plan our next course of action.
Arwan is absolutely the best of us. There's such an existential dread by the idea of turning into a blasphemy. It really is. And it's terrible and it's frightening and it's horrifying, both to if it happened to you or anyone around you, and the fact that it perpetuates itself in that too. Yeah, 100% Ray. All life must end in death, yet death in turn gives birth to new life. Such is the flow of aether. To think that natural cycle could simply be cut off, the very thought makes me shudder. After so long and so many sacrifices, we finally found a way to cure the tempered, but these poor souls, they vanished without a trace. Is there truly no saving them? While Justinian and Vritra defend Radz-at-Han from above, we on the ground must find a means to prevent these transformations. And soon. The stillness in the air puts me ill at ease. We must be wary. Worry not. I can see your aether and that of our companions. We have not suffered the fate of those unfortunate souls. Our radiant host has eliminated the immediate threat to the city, though it pains me to know that these beasts were once my own people. There is no telling when or where the next transformation might occur. We must remain vigilant and steel ourselves for whatever is yet to come. How aether-dense you have to be immune to the transformation? As far as we know, you need to basically be an unsundered individual. But even unsundered individuals seem to have been susceptible to some extent of the of whatever is causing the final days, based on later stuff. I mean, also based on the fact that it affected the Amriteens, right? It didn't transform them in and of itself, but it did affect them to the point that could bring about their downfall. It also would just depend on the source of. Well, we'll talk about it later. Forgive me, my friends, but I must return to the Magdaduta for the time being. There I can better manage the crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. In that case, we shall carry on an investigation of our own here in the city, and mayhap the residents can tell us more about the first of the transformations, the conditions under which it occurred. If we can ascertain what exactly triggered these tragic events, it may give us some insight into possible solutions. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Let us split into 3 groups that we may cover more ground. Alice and I will see to Pax the path. Thancred and Ishola, pray, make for Dharma. I'll leave Aratha to Graha and Huelio. Any information you can gather on the first blasphemies or the manifestations of the final days here in the city would be most hopeful. When we have completed our respective inquiries, let us reconvene in front of the Megaduta, that we might share what we've learned with the Satrap. Since we got hit hard for Alice, she believes there's always a way to save everyone, that no one is beyond being saved, but not this time. Yeah. Well, and you think about what she went through with Tesleen, right? How hard she fought to make sure no one would ever have to face Tesleen's fate again, and still. Shall we be off then? Artha is home to High Crucible of Alchemia, whose alchemists forged many of our warding scales. It seems a good place as any to begin our investigation, don't you think? I spoke briefly to the Nuhadin, the chief alchemist there, on our last visit. He should be happy to answer our queries. Okay, but when are we going to get to walk around Ishgard with Grahatia? Welcome back, Deathberry. Sorry, I missed a lot of your guys' conversation when we were in Vanaspati. I had to focus. They really called the alchemist quarters Alchemia. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get that until just now. That's pretty good. Is that rooted in something in the real world? Oh, Alchemia. Notes on Arabic alchemy. Word Kemet. Alchemy comes from the Arabic word alchemia, or alchemia. So that's what it's an Arabic word. Interesting. So it's actually the other way around. It's yeah. Okay, cool. I was like, there's no way that's an accident, right? Is this a spoiler-free walkthrough? Just want to make sure I don't slip in the future. No, we do anything that's ahead of where we're at, we try not to spoil. Though we do try to sometimes, if it's important or interesting to talk about it obliquely. So, for instance, if you can mention it and or ask about it without being specific. So, for instance, we sometimes might refer to Map 5, right? Maybe that's a Hannish word for alchemy. Yeah. I want a side quest train where we're just touring old expansions, us with Graha telling stories. Yeah. Romantic language. That's why I clocked it. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting, Flora. But yeah, feel free if you want to try to talk about things, Kevin. I remember those red eyes. You were with those scions who commissioned the scales from us, yes? I welcome you back to the High Crucible. What brings you here in these troubled times? We're assisting the satrap in the investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch sight of any of the creatures? I did. As I was going about my work, I was disturbed by the crashing footsteps, so powerful that the very ground shook. I rushed outside and could not believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly I heard panic screams coming from the direction of Radz-at-Han Bazaar. In the next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head from amidst the stars. A handful of the Radiant rushed to the scene, only to be sent sprawling at this field, and its minions propelled themselves skyward. So the blasphemy came from the vicinity of the markets. This knowledge may prove useful. I thank you for sharing your tale. Well, I do believe we now know where we should inquire next. To the bazaar, then. Question, how come Free Transinian get along so fast? Please tell me it isn't because of Nitty. What? I mean, to an extent, it's partly because of... No, I mean... Yukio, I'm just gonna say this because you've asked a lot of questions lately that are, like, answered in the game. You may want to just replay the MSQ. Because it's... The reason that he gets along with... One, is that they have similar struggles. It is also the struggle with the sense of identity, responsibility. The thing is that because of Nitty, because he wears the armor of Ratatoskr, because of the things that both he went through the Dragonsong War and after, allows him to understand Vritra, right? They have a mutual understanding that's not entirely disconnected from Nitty. So this is Thavnarian weave. I must say, it bears a resemblance to the traditional fabric of Corvos. Corvos! We're getting a Corvos. It's coming. Small wonder, really, given that it's just across the water. Not that I'm much of an expert in Corvosi culture, of course. I've not had the occasion to visit my ancestral home since coming to Sharlayan, and like as not, will never reside there again. That said, in recent days I've felt more acutely aware of my heritage, and grateful for it. It's thanks to my forebears that I inherited the royal eye, and with it, the wisdom of ancient Allag. And so, well, I simply hope that my countrymen are safe, and one day, when this calamity is but a memory, I'd like to see Corvos again, if only once. No worries, Yukio. And it's not, I'm not annoyed you're asking, it's just that a lot of the questions you're asking I think have like very clear answers that are explained just from going through the MSQ. So you may like it may be beneficial to like have a second go around. But so what he's talking about in Corvos, right, is this is the Anchorite of Corvos is here. So Corvos is somewhere in here, basically. It's not entirely clear where exactly, but it's somewhere in here, which means that it's when it's just a skip across the water. Also, the flying carpet mount was a Corvosi rug, which is kind of what he's referencing and how the weave of Thavnir kind of looks like the Corvosi weave. Forgive me, but my shop is closed until further notice. Needless to say, we are more passing concerns these days. We've come not in search of wares, but information concerning the enormous fiend that tore through the bazaar. Did we perchance witness anything? Afraid not, my friend. I was here the whole time, so I only saw its little minions. Made a mess of the place, they did. While that was going on, the great big one tore through the west side of the bazaar. You'll be better luck asking there. So there's no chance after Endwalker, other than by being turned by another blasphemy, that more blasphemies could show up, right? No. For reasons that we will get into later. We can't talk about it in specific, but think about what the cause of the final days is if you've beaten Endwalker and go from there. Okay, cool. Kevin's might be a plot point. They really put their whole creative business unit into designing Radz-at-Han. Best city in the game. I don't care. I mean, like, if it's your favorite, dude. I mean, look, it's a B city and it's as good, if not better, than the A city for the expansion. Effectively, both the cities are A cities in this expansion. So, mood. The future of Arshan having Asinian on a Link Pearl speed dial lives rent-free in my brain. In short, Asinian learned to see through the eyes of his former enemy, the dragons. He knows how to empathize with them, their pain, their anger, their love. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, AC. So Asinian and Nidhogg are kind of the same person now after using each other and joining together. That now
Even when split up, it's like Nidhogg's legacy remains inside of him. I think there's a part of that that's absolutely true in a way that he can't refute, but I also think he learns to love and move past the thing that Nidhogg never could. Creeper! I want to go to Corvos to see Cat Husbando's home. Yeah, the G tribe. Look, we're getting Corvos. I would be genuinely surprised if we didn't get a Corvosi map sometime in between now and like by 7.0. I'd love to visit the Corvos one day, but I just think I want to growl how to let me meet his parents if they're still alive. They are not, sadly. He's been raised in Charlian. If Corvos is Middle Eastern, maybe we'll get some decent looking scimitars. It might be. I mean, there's some evidence to think that it would be I mean, like, geographically, if you think about how Bosnia is almost kind of like Turkish, and Bosnia and Zadnor are in here, and Corvos is in here, it would probably be Balkans-esque, or Middle Easterns-esque. Both are possible. Just making sure there wasn't any lingering radiation type thing. Yeah, lady, totally. The mosaic floor, are you kidding me? It just annoys me that I get a lot of crafting material. I need to go to Radz-at-Han, but to get some others from the American board, I need to go to Charlian. Yeah. Floor over here just gushing over Radz-at-Han. I want to walk around Ishgard with Amerik. There's one single Talwar in the game, and it's in Badaspati, and that's very much not enough. Isn't there? There's at least one other scimitar before that. I don't ask questions as I've done MSQ 3 times so far. Persian? Yeah, it could be Persian. Definitely, I think there's some Persian influence. Would not be surprising. Is there something the matter, traveler? If you are not, perhaps I could be of assistance. Your offer is most appreciated, but we are not lost. We are in need of information. Might you know anything about the gargantuan beast that rampaged through the bazaar? Aye, I saw it all, though I wish I had not. I was going about my work when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around and there was the fiend, its massive body bursting through the entryway with the force of a tidal wave, and then it was gone, as quickly as it came. A lot of places are usually some kind of pastiche, so it's hard to be sure of what exact reference point they would be using. But some of the evidence, like the rug, the Persian rug, would super support that. Sisters have mercy, what is happening in the world? What am I to do? It's nowhere safe. Settle down, friend. The danger has passed, at least for now. If it's not too painful to remember, could you tell us what you saw? First I heard the screams, then a horde of ravening beasts came charging forward toward us. One of them was huge, bigger than a married, throwing people about like rag dolls, and it was eating them. I hid under the counter, saw others do the same. But the shrieking and wailing kept getting louder, more voices in the throng. These are victims I could not tell. I know not what was happening. I still don't. That is enough, my good man. You were brave to share with us your tale. Many of your fellow merchants are safe. The High Crucible, too, has survived, mostly unscathed. Pray, stay close to your friends and loved ones, and rest your body and mind while you are able. I suspect that is the most we can expect the people here to tell us. I think it's best we find a place outside the bazaar where we might rest and review our findings. The way I always think of Radz-at-Han is the 1 hour loop with dancing in itself. Being at Radz-at-Han makes me want curry and lassi. See, I always want curry and lassi, but I also want naan and rice, so why not both? Judging by their accounts, the transformations had already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar and headed towards the Aetheryte Plaza. In other words, the blasphemy may not have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the people in that mayhem can surely tell us more. Oh, but see, you can, like, I just made golden curry last night, for instance. There are plenty of curries that are not, spicy, lady. Oh, but AC was specifically asking about, right, spicy curry. I'm not a huge spicy curry fan. I love curry, but I'm not spicy curry. I'm not a huge fan of. People eaten by blasphemies, was their aether destroyed as well? Yes. Their aether would have been obliterated by the thing that makes up the blasphemy. The blasphemies are made up of something, and that thing obliterates aether if there's enough of it and it's strong enough and it's tilted in such a direction. Been feeling a bit of funky zoned out for a while until I remembered I hadn't eaten yet today. I should take care of that. See you folks. Sounds good, Lynn. Get some good food. Oh, there's tons of good curries you can make. Need help, Savage Rider, friend, or burn out, P9, and go react. Yeah, sounds good, Infinite. Emotional support matters. Going after the enormous beast, are you? Aye, I saw it, including the very instant that poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me here. It started out over there by the window. A few merchants probably talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worse. Next thing I know, their leader, I suppose he was, buries his head in his hands and black mist was swirling about him. Then his whole body burst apart and there stands a hideous slavering beast, massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His friends start shrieking, and the black mist comes again until the change takes them to the stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you any perchance know who these merchants were? No, I am a decorator by trade. Not much is cause to mingle with their sort. I saw Michiel, the barmaid, chatting with him though. She might know something.
Oh, pardon me. I was just... Anyway, take a seat wherever you like. We're open for business as per usual.
Even after repairing all the damage, it'll take a while for the business to pick up again. Do you happen to know who the beast was?
You mean the blasphemy?
That's what the Radiant had been calling it anyway. I thought too. We all did. I was standing here at the counter as Mayrid poured me a drink, when suddenly there came the dreadful sound, like a pained, angry groan. It was unlike anything I had ever heard. I turned around in shock, and from an ominous cloud of black mist arose that creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, to recall it sends shivers up my spine. But some stroke of fortune, I was able to slip outside before the beast got his claws on me. But the sight that greeted me offered no solace. The blue sky above turned to red blood. Mayrid and myself and other survivors clung to each other for dear life till the Radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear you correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn. I am certain of it. The windows here offered a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began to rage. Yeah, Neo, you gotta level a different kind. Japanese curry is my favorite. Japanese curry is great. I grew up on it, but I really would recommend Thai curry. It's very mild with coconut milk. Yeah, Thai curries can be great. I love Japanese gold curry. I love it so much. Oh, I've got more downstairs that I made. I should go get that at some point. Yeah.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to Mayrid's Mayhem.
Can I help you? We have come not for libations, but rather for information. You are Michiel, yes? We are investigating the so-called blasphemy of the satrap's behalf. We heard it was one of your customers, a merchant that first underwent the transformation. What can you tell us about him?
He was something of a regular here, especially of late. Karl Zal was his name. He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily in exports of Thalnarian specialties.
If you remember, we met Kalzal earlier on in the beginning of the game, when we were helping out with the fishing stuff. It was through him we met Matsya. Yes, the name rings a bell. Didn't you meet them both on your first trip to Thavner? If I recall correctly, Karl Zal ran a trading operation in Yilmad, and it was there that you made Matsya's acquaintance.
Yes, that is the same Karl Zal, no doubt. A rather successful man from what I gather. That said, it was clear that he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere cannot have been good for business. Even now, with the towers gone, the collapse of the empire has led to all the sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not what it once was.
Trying times for a head of a trading consortium, indeed.
Karl Zal was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for the artisans, fishermen, and many others who counted on him to sell their wares. Indeed, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting, as far as I could hear. They discussed the matters further. Karl Zal's tone grew grave and grim, and it was then that...
Forgive me. I would not have you recall the memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would ask you just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Karl Zal in particular? Please, anything at all?
Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps something else can help you. Karl Zal lived for his work and had no family that I know of. His employees and associates knew him best, but they too are lost to us. Still, perhaps his neighbors knew something I do not. I can direct you to them if you believe it would help. What do you say?
keto. I have no idea what keto is. Yeah, well, there's a whole, yeah, you guys explained it. Curried potato salad. I don't like potato salad, so that would not be for me. Welcome back, Kiko. Hopefully missed most of the trauma. Sadly, this is the calm period. This is the calm before the storm. Or really, it's the calm in the middle of the storm. Basically, we went through half the storm, now we're in the eye of the storm, and then we're about to be out the other end, going through the hardest part is to come. Kalzal made his home in Kama, a nearby residential area. From what I gather, Kalzal lived there since childhood and was known throughout the neighborhood. Kama. The name is new to me. How do we get there? I'll lay down some directions. I cannot promise that you will find what you seek, but if nothing else, it is a start. Come, let us see where the lead takes us. We keep talking about curry, and now I want some. Maybe we'll plan for some next week. Definitely do it, Deathberry. Treat yourself. I have to drive an hour to get curry. Oh, Ray, that sucks. Can you not like order gold curry mix? Big recommend on. You can. There's literally just a literally gold curry, golden curry. You can order off of like Amazon and stuff. Let's see. After leaving the mayhem, we're to retrace our steps and head back towards the Aetheryte Plaza. Was that really it? Is that just a recommendation? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we gotta go up there, which means we need to go up there and around. That's not a good time. Would you be able to get ingredients to make some at home? Yeah, Deathberry on it, just like me. I got my last up to 90. The downgrade from Amaro mount to the ugliest headpiece known to man is severe. True. Wait, there's a headpiece? Where do you even get the headpiece? What is the headpiece? I've had everything at Omni 90 for a long time at this point, but I actually don't know. I mean, obviously not an Elio. I can get anything online. I'll see about finding some recipes. So, Ray, if you want, I can give you my recipe for golden curry if you have any interest. I mean, it's barely a recipe. It's literally, like, instead of making it from scratch, a lot of times I just use gold curry mix because it's delicious. But if you use gold curry mix, then you use potato, onion, carrot, and then sliced meat of your preference. It's delicious. So what happens is you pre-boil the potatoes. You cut them into relatively large-ish chunks. Not huge, but large-ish. Pre-boil them so they get really nice and soft. You cut the onions to whatever size you like, or carrots whatever size, and meat to whatever size you like. Put the veggies other than potatoes and the meat in olive oil, and you fry them up a little bit. Then you throw the golden curry mix into a pot, mix it with water to whatever thickness you like. You start cooking that until it's boiling, and then you start simmering it. Then you throw in all the meats, veggies, chickens, and all that stuff, and then the potato in. And you just let that sit for a little bit, and then you just eat it with sushi rice. Just awesome. So good. And this must be Kama. We've arrived at last. Let us begin questioning the residents without delay. No doubt someone here can tell us about Kalzal. Given recent events, I imagine many are taking shelter indoors. At least we're here together, Kiko. Achievement list. Yeah, blue feather thing. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I did grab that. I just totally forgot about it. Yeah, golden curry is available on Amazon UK, so I expect it. Yeah, it's highly available. I can also give you my recipe for tonkatsu and gyudon, which are like 3 of my favorite things to make. Yeah, SMB golden curry mix. Yeah. I mean, like, look, I'd make it from scratch if I thought it was better, but SMB's the golden curry mix is just so good. Could you come back another time? I just woke up and I'm not exactly in the mood for idle chit-chat. Well, that's one way to avoid a panic, I suppose. Pardon our intrusion. You may not have noticed, but a great danger has come to Thavner. I encourage you to stay alert and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave you in peace, pray, I'll also ask a question or two. Did you know a local merchant named Kalzal? If so, did you notice anything unusual about him recently? Kalzal? I know him. In fact, we spoke just the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seemed as though he managed to turn things around thanks to a generous order from Radz-at-Han fibers. Why, he was particularly dancing in the streets. I haven't spoken with him since, but I assume it all went well. Dinjabaha might be able to tell you more though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. Dinjabaha. Dijbaha. At Ruveda Fibers. Let's make a point to visit him after we've spoken with the locals. Golden curry is the equivalent to Eorzean curry, not Hanish curry. Is it? What's that based off of? I mean, like, I guess like spicy curry. Like this definitely would be Indian curry. But is Eorzean curry described as like very mild?
Kal'Zal, you say? Yes, I know him since he was a boy. If there was ever a man who was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always ready to depart and late to return. He spent his days procuring the finest wares and seeking out willing customers. You could say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging of late. No surprise, really. But with how dangerous travel has become, he was cooped up in his house from dawn till dusk the other day, no doubt racking his brains for a way to turn his fortunes around. Then at night I heard the door open. I looked out to see Kal'Zal sitting on a bench, his head hung low, a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
I see. The situation must have been quite dire indeed.
Did you notice anything else?
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing to speak of, other than the trouble with the consortium. He was the same old Kal'Zal, cordial and honest, like always. These questions you are asking, has something happened to him? He wasn't caught up in any terrible incident at the bazaar, was he? I don't travel much these days, but my daughter told me not to venture outside, stuck in here as I am. I've heard little about the bazaar going-ons.
Rest assured, the city is safe for now. The situation may change without warning. I urge you, stay close to your daughter, and be prepared to take refuge, should the satrap order it. That's Mahdi.
So I feel like this is an important part. I feel like it's so easy to be like, well, oh my god, can we just continue on with the story? But like, one, giving space to feel like the final days is an event that's going on, that's not just like a thing, but like affecting and sticking around and looming, I think is important. And also the height of Anispati, and then like a little bit of breathing room that still like feels like doom lingers over everything. I think this room is important also because you make people feel like people. You're talking to people, talking about how they felt about it, why they're stressed out, what they're afraid of. It's not just the final days is happening and people are dying. You know, you're meeting individuals, you're talking to them, like Mahdi. Studium Quest is a culinarian. Ah, thank you, AC. I need to replay those. I literally don't remember, I think, most of them. I like mild curry myself or low heat. If food is too spicy, it's hard to enjoy in flavor because it's just hot rather than tasty. Yeah, I'm the same, Rag. I love horseradish spice. That is, I can handle for days. I love like wasabi, stuff like that. Like capsaicin spice though, I have to be wanting heat. You know, like I have to be wanting the heat in and of itself. Eorzean everything is very mild. Comparably, I guess that's not unfair. Pretty sure the elementals will launch a plague upon your home if you even dare sprinkle salt on your fries. Well, my boyfriend pulls a Fuji apple in his curry when he makes it. It's very good in there too. Yeah, I can imagine that being good. I can totally believe that. Honestly, an apple doesn't sound too bad. I'll occasionally buy Vermont curry, and it's notable difference that they add apple for traditional sweetness curry mix. I'm not a fan of sweet and savory, so I wouldn't usually be pro that, but I can absolutely see how that would be good. But usually sweet and savory to me is like, it's like putting fruit in a pastry. Why do it?
If I'm not mistaken, these stairs lead to Dharma. It's quite the sight, the red skies above. During the final days of yore, the heavens burned and the stars fell. Creation magics ran amok. This was my assumption when I saw Emerald. Perhaps the ancient believed the same, that the terror of a single powerful individual was the cause of their calamity. And yet, those selfsame horrors now manifest themselves before our eyes. What could it be that sets the heavens aflame and turns ordinary men into beasts?
I don't like fresh apple, but I like sour apple. I'm a big fan of sweet apples if I'm just eating the apple solo. But fruit in a pastry is good for me. Yep, I'm a weirdo. Interesting. If using chili uses fresh rather than dry, dry is just heat with no subtlety. Yeah.
Whatever is the meaning of this? What is the satrap? I saw it! I saw the terrible beast!
These people are all afraid and stressed. Understandably. If anything, it's actually more surprising that things didn't get worse.
They're farming silkworms. This must be Riveda's fibers, where we should find Djarbaha. Does anybody remember when 6.0 came out and if you like did something like that, you'd actually like decouple following the person? Or if you mounted up, it would count as you ending the follow. And hurry, I say. There's no time to waste. Pardon me, but you are in charge of buying and selling here, yes? We have a few questions that I would like to... I'm sorry, but I simply do not have time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. We must carry our wares and equipment to safety before the cursed beast return. In that case, might we be of assistance? Probably we could speak when the job is done. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others who put it where. And you can carry our fabrics. Go through that door and speak with Kamala. Kamala, she'll tell you the rest. That's pretty funny, Kevin. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Then again, my main issue with food is conflicting textures. Biting into apple feels wrong as the skin and flesh are too different. It's why I can't enjoy cakes. I have weird specific issues too. Not to maybe not entirely to that degree, but I can relate to that, Rag. You say that, but there's a beef and bacon pie recipe in Game of King Cookbook with prunes and golden raisins, which is freaking delicious. That sounds disgusting to me. I'm not saying it is disgusting. I'm saying to me, that would be disgusting. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't attuned to that. You have to remember, I don't play Elio off of stream a lot. I try to make sure, because I don't want to like be tempted to, or accidentally pick up something that wouldn't show up on stream or pick up a quest or something. So like a lot, for instance, if we don't necessarily, there isn't reason to grab them as we pass by them and I don't remember and I'm focusing on doing the story, then it just doesn't happen. This area is for employees only. Out, out! I'm here to help. Oh? What? You've come to help? Oh, praise the Mindurva. Kind stranger, I welcome your assistance. On your way here, you passed 3 storehouses, yes? I'd like you to carry a smug crate in the brief hall by the storehouse near the hatchery. The crate of clothing is for Manuna, and the massive crate that goes to Zaymeria by the middle of the storehouse. Watch your back with that one. Those were all the crates we have ready. Once they've been delivered, consider your work here complete. I did totally I was so focused on something else. I thought that they actually, I feel like when I remembered when I first did it, they just like straight directed you. That'd be a fear. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, so they do have the marker. I was like, I thought for sure they had the marker. Because I remember I tried to remember that the first time I did it in 6.0, and I was like, oh, this will be exciting because you like actually have to remember which one, and then they didn't. So what is it? Then you've come to the right place. We thank you for your aid. Take the box to that guy 5 feet away, yeah. If you have any crates of finished projects as carpets, clothing, and like, pray bring them here to our primary storehouse. A crate of clothing, is it? I can take that off your hands. Many thanks for your delivery. I say, you're quite a brawny one, entry. A good thing that never know when you need to defend yourself in these unpredictable times. A crate full of fabrics, is it? Exactly what I was hoping to receive. Here, let me put that away for you. I find it creative and a bit funny that they made the Magus Sisters into goddesses. I feel like that makes a lot of sense for both the Abnerian culture and making them... I mean, like, that's how primals work, right? Like, Magus... Like, it makes sense. Magus Sisters are from 4, so they make sense to have them in 4. They make sense with a lot of the ways that, like, Hinduism gods are kind of portrayed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just to me that makes that. It just seemed a very natural thing, if anything.
You've carried all the crates to the storehouse, you say? Ah, and so quickly too. Why, I've never seen anyone so strong. I and my associates will see to the rest. So please, return to Jindabana and assure your work is proceeding apace. To tell the truth, we're grateful for the distraction. Too many terrible happenings of late, but generous souls like yourself give me hope that we may emerge from the trial even stronger. I pray we meet again in more peaceful times.
Me too, Kamala. Me too. Have a good night, Death! I hope you have a great night. Ray is just like, has no patience for like, if you're gonna ask me to do this, but it's literally like all right there. How dare you?
So right, zinc surface waves with your run beating. Done as I've asked, have you? We deliver all the boxes to everywhere they need to go. If Kamala is satisfied with your work, then so am I. You have done us a great favor, traveler. I too have delivered the instruments and apparatus entrusted to me. You both have my thanks. With our wares safely stored away, we will not lose any more of those fiends. I take it that your establishment did not escape the attack unscathed. We did not. Thankfully, most of our workers had already left that day, but those of us still here saw it all. We looked to the burning skies in confusion, and then, before we could even begin to make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the door, shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out, a scream of such agony, such terror, and in the next instant, he too sprouted fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then... he too transformed. I'm sorry, there was something you wanted to ask. Indeed, you knew the merchant Kalzal, did you not? I believe he had some dealings with your establishment. Kalzal, I knew him well. We arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end, we received a better offer and had to turn him down. I understand his business is struggling, but so is ours. Another of one of our most reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission. We have been the fools to refuse. I feel terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand, we simply had no choice. We tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair were plain as day. He said he'd discuss it with his associates, but I could tell he had all but given up hope. Dejection and despair. You remember what we said in Vanaspati, yes? Soldiers and jungle dwellers pushed to the very brink, turning into beasts one after the next. It would seem that the same phenomenon occurred here. The poor craftsmen attacked by the fiends as well as those that witnessed it, all undergoing the change. I suspect that everything began with Kalzal. By all accounts, it was he who suffered from the most profound, piercing despair. Wait, could that be it? That such intense emotion were what triggered his transformation? Much remains unclear, but I believe we're drawing closer to an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others.
Which would I have as a trial boss? Asura or Indra? Indra? Oh, that guy. Is he in anything else? Is he... I honestly don't know of that many examples of Indra in Final Fantasy, so like, and honestly, Asura doesn't mean that much to me, even loving 4 the way I do. So frankly, either's fine. I can't say I have a particular draw to either. So you don't need reflect healing offer. Yeah, I don't mean to make light of a serious situation, but when the hideous creature bursts through the door as spoken by a retail worker, it sounds like a code for nightmare customer. Truth.
Indra is Ramu in some translations. Oh, interesting. Well, we already have a Ramu, so I assume that's not what Macy's getting at. Beyond the depths of despair. Whew. Okay, everyone. Get ready for some heavy cutscenes ahead. We were to reconvene with the others in front of Megaduda, were we not? That should be just outside. With any luck, they will have already returned to their own investigations. My friend, we must take our leave. I pray that your establishment is spared for the tragedy. But remember, your lives are far more precious than any wares. If you're ordered to flee, do so without hesitation. Indeed, I thank you for your concern, and pray you take care as well. Finished your rounds and ready to share? I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab a drink.
There you are. You've spoken with the survivors.
Indeed. We thought to share what we have gleaned, that we might together gain a greater understanding of present circumstances.
Fortuitous timing. Alize and I completed our own investigations not long ago.
Then we should take a moment to compare notes. Shall we begin with the two of you?
You see, we found out about Khalzal and the origin of the blasphemy. Let me explain.
So the merchant Khalzal was gravely concerned about his business in the days preceding his untimely end.
The tales we heard were much the same. The first victims to be changed into blasphemies were all overcome with anguish of one manner or another. Then those who saw their loved ones stolen before their eyes succumbed to a similar panic, setting in motion a chain of transformations.
Fear, unease, despair. These negative feelings serve as a catalyst.
If so, then it is not unlike the calamity that befell the ancients. With their creation magics, they unwittingly gave form to untold horrors. Had they simply lost control, surely it would have manifested in many forms, not all of them monstrous. Yet somehow, this phenomenon is triggered solely by the darkness in their hearts, a common thread with what we now witness.
Common, but not identical. While the beasts the ancients faced were forged with magic alone, those of today are born of sentient beings. Why remains to be seen, but there is one fundamental difference between us and our predecessors. Our souls are sundered, whereas theirs were not. Perhaps that single variable makes all the difference.
If I may, there was another detail that troubled me. We have it on good authority that Khalzal's transformation took place before the skies began to burn.
What? If that's true, then the situation's more dire than we realized. It means even if there's no ominous sign presaging the final days, anyone, anywhere, has the potential to become a beast. Even in lands we thought safe, even as we speak.
Look! It's the satrap! The satrap!
Thank the heavens.
Be interesting to see if you guys are right and if it affected Mirror City or the New World. I think me and Aniri speculated about that ahead of time.
My countrymen, I am relieved and heartened to see you strong and safe. While the danger has not yet passed, far from it, allow me to assure you that the beasts that raged within the city walls have been exterminated to the last. Outside this sanctuary, the brave men and women of the Radiant Host and our dragon ally continue to battle our unholy foes. I pray these tidings put your minds at ease and help you calm your hearts. Have faith that we shall soon conquer this terrible trial.
Your Excellency, is there any word from Palagan's stand? My grandson was bound for there yesterday, and I worry for his life.
We are still awaiting a report, but I promise you, as soon as I have aught to share.
Your Excellency, I bring grave news.
You are?
I'm Matsya of Akyali, a humble fisherman.
Oh, Matsya.
Ah, I remember you from our first visit.
Wait, you're... But no, that can wait. When the skies turned red, I set off for Palaka's stand, fearing for the safety of a friend. But as I drew near the village, I saw dreadful beasts all about.
No! Gods have mercy! Your Excellency! Save my grandson, I beg of you!
We will spare no effort to save all we can, but you must remain calm.
Calm? You tell me to be calm? You saw those beasts? They tore our bravest warriors limb from limb! What if we are too late, huh? They catch him, sink their fangs into him? The fangs! The screams!
Get away from her, now!
We've got to kill them before it spreads.
We'll handle this. See the townspeople to safety.
Run! As fast as you can! Ah! 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 No!
Vitra, our people, you must save them.
That's enough!
My son.
Enough. You must run. For their sake and your own. Yes, you will survive. You must.
Exarch mode activated.
I love the way he walks is different, and also if you watch the way he holds his staff is different.
Be strong, my friends. Fear not, for we will defeat these abominations.
100 years of being a leader still remains with
Brave men and women of the Radiant Host, lend your Stolar and Thancred your aid. Let not a single beast escape. The rest of you, flee this place. Carry the wounded if you must. Head indoors or underground. Above all, stay calm. No beast will follow you. We will see to that.
Alphino! Alice! Leave the city to us, and make for Palaka's stand at once! Matsya, show my friends to the village. I promise you, they're more capable than the host's finest.
Right. Go with them, will you? We will save these people. As many as we can.
Do what you can, wherever you can, for as long as you can. That's all you can do. Damn it all! Staying calm isn't exactly my forte. We meet again. You do remember me, yes? You see my skin twice over in Hydaelyn, and now I find myself turning to you for help once more. Let us tarry here no longer. We must save Palaka's stand, whatever it takes. Matsuya, it pains me to put you into harm's way, but I would ask that you aid us as well. Oh, of course, Palaka's stand is not far, just down the hill. But as I told His Excellency before, the path was blocked by terrible creatures. I no choice but to turn back. In that case, this is what we shall do. Elio, I ask that you take the lead and dispatch any beasts you encounter. Alice and I will keep Matsuya hidden amongst the trees, and follow when the path is clear. Roger. There's no telling what dangers await us. Keep your eyes peeled. But we don't do nothing. We take action. I think the thing is that they try to cut it really clearly so that the idea is that you are running to it, but you don't reach it in time to stop him being lifted up. And they obviously are slowing it down to show him being put in so that you could hear what's going on. But the implication, if you look at like how that's edited and cut, is that we get there right at, like, as it's too late. And we take immediate action to try and save the guy. We lead it away. Yeah, exactly, Infinite. How likely is it the Warrior can actually take on most of the Radiant Hosts in a training match? Good work, Elio, though I worry for Matsuya. What has happened to them? It cannot be. We must heal those we can, and quickly. I see no beasts, but stay on your guard. That's because the weapons weren't better, Flora. It's okay. It's okay. Have you come? Have you come to help us? It's too late. Too late. My family. My friends. Are you okay? Though the villager injuries do not appear to be life-threatening, he does not respond to your efforts. His breathing grows more ragged and shallow, and his vacant eyes are those of a man who has lost the will to live. Even if we wake, the nightmare goes on. No, leave me to sleep. You call out, but the man does not respond. The villager has no pulse, nor do they appear to be breathing. The cooling body has already begun to stiffen. The massive wounds suggest the villager was gored by a terrible beast. Now's not the time, AC. Why? The horror! Are these the only villagers who survived? I can only hope others managed to flee, but if the rest have been turned to beasts, by the 12, let us do what we can to see the damage spreads no further. And no matter what comes, we must keep our spirits high, lest we ourselves suffer a similar fate. I can tend to the rest. Pray, look after Matsuya. No doubt what we have seen here weighs heavy, even heavier on his heart than ours. Thor, I pray that the sisters will see us through this calamity. Oh, Elio. This is Yvette, the elder here. He is hurt, but I praise be to the sisters he still lives. Young Matsuya has already told me everything. I have not the words to express my gratitude for your aid. When the heavens began to burn, we were afraid, but did our best to carry on, as we always have done. Until today, when those unholy beasts came pouring into the village, a flood of midnight and death. There are no words to describe what followed. Men and women I have known since they were babes, struck down by creatures only to rise again to join the murderous hordes in the guise of those same hideous fiends. In the chaos, a handful of our villagers fled for their lives. I can only hope that they have found their way to safety. Matsuya, do you put a chance to remember yourself and Maven, the young couple who has always brought you freshest catches? How could I forget, Elder? What I came to battle my wares despite desperately good living. They showed me such kindness. Others shunned me as an outsider, as is their way, but Kresev and Maven brought my fish and sung its praises. They turned my fortunes around. Alas, I fear they are in terrible danger, and so they were running towards Agama Temple, one of the beasts in close pursuit. They had their child, still but a tiny babe. To elude these fiends while caring for one so young is an impossible task. Surely, I beg of you, go to their aid. I want to help them, yet I am but a fisherman. I cannot face beasts on my own. Will you come with me? Of course.
One moment. Just one moment. Okay, guys. I'm back. Any luck? Oh, hey, look. It looks like it's fixing. Nope. Dipping back down. We'll see. We'll see. You guys will have to let me know if you can see me. Okay, it looks like that we're gonna have to call it there. I know this is 100th episode. Maybe we'll have to call the next episode 100, episode 100 part 2 or something. I see blurry yellow. That worked, I think. Why am I not surprised? Thalia Cazelio's guardian deity. I see you. Okay, better. Okay. Did we lose a bunch of people though? It seems like a lot of people got kicked out when that happened. Okay. Yeah, this is just not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. Sadly, obviously for episode 100, not essentially the ending I'd like to go, but maybe it's the final days itself casting upon us. I think we're gonna call it there for today. What I may try to do is pick up an extra stream sometime when I can get a chance. Maybe we'll hit it up on Tuesday to wrap up this next part. But I just wanted to say, for those of you who were able to hear, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for this 100. It has been an amazing journey, and I'm looking forward to the next 100. And, like, frankly, you know, screaming better now, just a couple stutters. We're back. Well, you know what? Let me say this anyways, even if whether we keep going or not, because it's the final day is trying to stop us streaming as well. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate that we've gotten to do so much of this. Quality's pretty bad, but not stuttering. Yeah, it seems like it's trying to catch up in quality and it's struggling. Now the quality's shooting all the way up. That's weird. Crystal clear now. Congrats on 100. Can't wait for the next 100 with you all. Yeah, crystal clear. We're here. Sounds good, Infinite. Yeah. I think what we'll do is next Tuesday I'll be back on, and either we'll be doing the MA or we'll be doing this. We're gonna get from this spot here into the next spot. Maybe we'll call it next episode 100 part 2. I'll forgo all the YouTube stuff for now, because for now I'm just gonna call this to be continued rather than an actual episode ending. You know, like how there's Final Fantasy X-2 and 13-2. This will be 100-2.
Back to 1080p, no stutter. Okay. Okay, now it's saying it's green. I'm almost like, okay. I'm gonna put a question up. Do we continue going? Do we fight to make it to keep going? Or do we call it there? Give me a second. I'll let you guys decide. I will be right back. Okay, you guys who are around saying let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know what? I know I said that piece, but and I stand by it, but for now, I think we will. There's definitely I want to get to the end of this darkness because there's some light I'd still like to contend with. Let's just check. Seems like stream's still good. Quality's coming back too. Okay. Okay, well then. Since, while we wait in case people want to come back real quick, and if anyone wants to know people in the Discord that we're back, I do want to say thank you for the episode 100 in case I lose you guys again. And though it's not the exact moment for it. There's so much left to do this game, and I am here for it. In the meantime, let's save some babies. The temple is just ahead. It was built by those who worship Saint Allegan, but has sadly fallen into disrepair in recent years. And my friends made it this far. No doubt they are hiding somewhere amidst the ruins. No! Please! Stay back! That was Christoph! Oh no! This is not good! I'll take a look. Wait here. Please, do. The cry came from the ruins. You must hurry. How did all of you guys feel when you first played through this moment? I know for some of you it was a lot, but I'm curious. Did it feel right? Did it feel accurate for how bad the final days is supposed to feel? The man lies motionless on the ground, bearing a grievous wound. I'm sorry, Elio. I tried to stay behind, but I couldn't. No, it cannot be. Is someone... anyone... My arms are so heavy. My legs. I cannot feel my legs. My wife fled with our daughter. I need to find them. Need to be with them. I need... Kirsep, no! No, you must be strong!
more time. I thought I had. I don't want to die. I promise it's going to be okay. Thank you. Please, find them. Veyvan still lives, and she has their child. We must search the jungle between here and Palakistan. There's nowhere else she could have gone, I think. I think the wind just closed my door. Forgive me, Kirsef. Once we saved your wife and child, we will return and lay you to rest. Serene, good to see you. Glad to have you. Yeah, of all the times for you to come in. Well, at least you didn't come in a couple minutes ago. We had like a solid 10-minute chunk there where the internet just decided to die. Do want to be like that sometimes? Yeah. I think they did a good job personifying existential dread, basically. Yeah. But man, the anxiety of it. Yeah. I'll still say this part hits, even when you know what's gonna happen. You see no track or signs of recent travel. Maven and the child must be elsewhere. You know what I'll say too? It's interesting is I feel like moments like that with Kirsef are, I think it maybe hit a lot harder. I forgot about that moment. I think it, not hit harder, but it's like still hit in a way that like you remember the body horror and stuff, and like you can maybe not become callous to that, but become like more guarded for it when it's coming. But the sorrow and the like little bits of peace you can offer, I think hit. Stuff. Not much, just wearing my traditionary colors. How's clubbing been going? Come on, milkshake. If Maven and his daughter came through this area recently, you see no evidence of their passage. Yeah. Okay, internet's going again. We're gonna have to call it. Sorry, guys. I know, I'm sorry, guys. We tried. Okay. I said on the right side, I said everything but I said earlier. And I feel like this is a better moment to pause. We're gonna have to do the part 2, like I said. But I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys and thank you for 100. And honestly, thank you even for pushing on a little bit longer in the face of it all. So, one more do.